State of Decay 2, Hardcore Survivors, Game 3. A trio of my prized legacy characters are going against a new challenge. Let's meet the team. First up is Carol, and I think this is our first look at veteran royalty. There's a lot to say about this accomplished regulator, but Carol Diaz's greatest feat was as the leader of my first successful Lethal Zone run back in 2020, setting the stage for many more after her. The run saw about 8 survivors die, including the other 2 legacy starters, but Carol lives on. For how much longer is anyone's guess. Pathfinder Derrick is a surviving member of a relatively recent run, all new characters in Lethal Zone. I tried to do it flawlessly, but failed. If this sounds familiar to anyone, this is the run where we first met Snowman. Rest in peace. Derrick Barrett is the highest ranking member surviving from that infamous run, and then went on to a double flawless in his next 2 survival trials. Will this next fight be as clean? Nader. I don't really like this guy. I don't really know why either, he just... but whatever. I suppose out of 44 legacy survivors not everyone can be a star, but certainly everyone can and should be useful, and Nader is the medicine guy. Nader was a pre-apocalypse combat medic who'll work as the doctor this time around. Probably best not to slag him off too much, to be honest, but here we are. Screw it, we need him. And off we go. We are in Cascade Hills, the map with the highest death rate for me personally. I'll go into more detail later, but first we have to get moving. So we set off to the starting house, but leaving the starting car behind. Why? In this game, I'm not allowed to use any vehicles ever. So let's get our running shoes on and clear the starting base.
I'm so with you.
Okay then. Like before, I'm chock-a-block for guns. All 3 of them were armed to the teeth from their previous adventure. It's just a shame we don't have much else. Like before, I have an advanced biochem station that I can't use. That would be a violation of the top rules. That mod is freaking broken. Still, we lock and load. Nader, the heavyweight bulldozer, is given our E-gear, a killer weapon that weighs a ton. Derrick, the lightweight Pathfinder, is loaded with the Trailblazer, which is a very light gun that'll keep his encumberment light for longer, and that'll be handy in this one. Finally, middleweight regulator Carol takes the middleweight Mob Stopper, and this ensures all 3 runners take from different ammo pools. And our girl Carol is starting by looting all the nearby locations. Cascade Hills starts with a small suburb to the east, which we will loot with extreme prejudice. Carol takes a trip there, and then back to the house. And another. And another. Jeez, I'm getting tired just watching her. But now there's no car at the front of the house. I can't even move a car to the slot there just once. So I need to hoof the rucksacks up to the storeroom, and given I can only carry 1 rucksack at a time, I need to think about what I need rather than my normal strategy of stealing everything I want. One good example of this is that through sheer force of habit, I raided the massive oil tanker. That was a waste of time. No cars, no petrol. Mind you, I can make mollies galore, and I'll flog the leftover gasoline to enclaves like the new Saudi Arabia. And I can recruit as many enclaves as I want, so let's make some friends. But it needs to be stated at this point, I hate this. This scenario sucks. I knew it would, and so far nothing too interesting has actually happened. Granted, we're only on Nightmare Zone, but with max constant and extreme curveballs, so hopefully something will heat up later. As is, I need to make a mental note of what rucksacks are where and do the sprint for what I need later. Fed up with the constant back and forth, I take out the ammo shop plague hearts to make an outpost to loot the little town, something I take very seriously as I bide my time. As curveballs show themselves, I run for a mile to sort out a band of hoods. Another group of idiots falls before us, and I'm lucky this food outpost is claimable, and Carol can finally switch out and get some rest. So now Derrick takes centre stage, and his class ensures he's a much better runner. He's a Pathfinder, a variant of my Scout class, but not just any Pathfinder. Derrick is an expert traveller, giving him an even greater lighter carry capacity threshold. I chose Pathfinder for him when I saw that trait. Derrick can carry even more stuff before reaching medium encumberment, and with the marathon cardio skill ensuring he can run for free when lightly encumbered, he can keep that running up for longer with more loot. And given I'm playing a challenge where I'm not allowed to use cars, yeah, I'm going to get a lot of value out of him. His first job is to see this enclave and sell some stuff for influence. I'm going to be using a lot of outposts in this run, so I'd rather have my influence ready now. I'm not comfortable with this area being in plague territory, so we load up for a plague cart assault and clear the houses by the river. This area will be safer to traverse through now, and I still have some loose ends to tie up before I put my main plan into action. The plan is to loot everything in the eastern Cascade Hills, set up a base in the central bridge fort, and work out from there. I'd rather not have to run all the way back repeatedly, so I'm looting the weapon cases at the campsite. We'll see if it was worth it. But I want to keep Derrick as an ace in the hole, so I'll send Nader out now. What is it with this guy? I have this thought in my head that he's just kind of a jerk, and I've never been able to shift it. He's a grumpy activist, but also generous. It's a shame his generosity translates to standing rewards, which is pretty much useless. Most players will want to delay standing rewards to prevent the game difficulty ramping up too quickly. Coincidentally, Nader was recruited during Carol's legendary first successful Lethal Zone run. So, this is not the first time they've met. But he was recruited with his girlfriend, who's honestly a better survivor than him, and it was right at the end of the run to make up numbers, so screw this guy. At least in another of his runs we recruited Mazzy, so that's a good plus at least. I load up Nader with food supplies an Enclave was asking for, and I'll take some sellable stuff so I don't have to make another trip. And the Enclave bonus is not very good. I blame Nader. Nader spends the rest of the morning looting the eastern side of the map. Being a bulldozer with 2 extra carry slots is very useful, even if he's not as good at running, or not being a cock. Even more looting, another enclave to stack the board with good boons should I need them later, and lots of building material so I can upgrade my outposts so I can drop rucksacks off at the outposts. I can't claim the bridge fort base anyway because I only have 3 community members and I'm not waiting around when I've already looted some good stuff. So I send Nader on another plague cart assault so I can start to move into the central area. But I can't claim this outpost though. Balls. I still need to run everywhere I go, but when I run past the church base, I have bad memories. My very first Lethal Zone run died here. This base is a massive death trap. Any base with a watchtower is, because watchtowers create blind spots that freaks hide in. And the watchmen are so busy on this single structure they can't address threats on the ground. And I learnt this the hard way. Legacy survivors Peter, Haley and Fernando all died here in one nasty siege. Haley had even worked with Carol in her first run, and Fernando was my first ever successful leader. Rest in peace, we have not forgotten you. Peter was a bit shit though, so I don't really care about him. I've played Lethal Zone 56 times and I've only ever lost 6 communities, and one of them was due to the file not loading up. That aside, of the 5 remaining fails, 3 of them crashed and burned in Cascade Hills. I'll talk about the others later, but I've never ever stayed at this cursed church since. One of the reasons I wanted Nader to down the plague cart was to get him to hero status, so I can use those hero buffs. All 3 of them have taken down a plague cart, but now Carol's hero bonus is increasing standing rewards. I've already said SR is rubbish, and we're all heroes anyway now, so darn. Derrick, meanwhile, increased experience. We were fully leveled when we arrived, so that's useless. And Nader? Oh wow. Wow. These 3 suck. I swapped back to Carol for an ongoing looting spree. More enclaves, more helping enclaves, more scavenging for anything we might need further down the line, and the next bad enclave boon will see me recruit so I can move base. Carol was recruited early in my run entitled The Traders of Drucker County, the first time I'd completed the Trader quest and DC map on Nightmare Zone. Carol's also maybe the first ever survivor to do the Eagle Eye side quest. When I stepped it up to lethal, the brave leader Chloe died in a botched plague heart assault, followed by the second legacy survivor Brooke a few days later. It was all up to Carol now to save the run. And this was at a time where you only had one gun slot, and Bloodfells were even worse than they are now. But would you believe it? A reverse of fortune. Nader becomes the boss because I don't want to do another bloody building quest. So all hail our new fearless leader. I still think he's a cock. For no reason, Carol did this. Hooray! Not using cars won't stop us. We have fun here. So much fun that the whole day's passed with dedicated looting and nothing happened. After booting up the game a few real-life days later, I decide to sort out this stupid quest. Ever since I first took the home base, I've been bothered by this mysterious broadcast, but I can't get there because it's too far away. Screw it, sprint time. Carol's traits are rather unusual. She's a World War II buff and a former Halo champion. I like that she's used to the humidity with a small stamina boost, but these traits don't really complement each other. At least she's not a cock like Nader. Recycling was taught to her before I knew it was kind of overrated. Funnily enough, Mazzy was a recycler as well. I must have liked that trait all those years ago. After a quick survey, I put Carol's stealth ability to good use. Regulator is a good build, and crouch running can be useful when you want to stay undetected, but as you can guess, it isn't great for long range running. Carol helps herself to the mysterious broadcast loot, and we can put this darn quest to bed. Speaking of, we should be retiring Carol, but I'm sure one more mission won't hurt. I want to clear that enclave, and it's on the way to the nearest point I can switch, so let's do it. Unfortunately, this proves to be a problem. Without a car, I can't position my own cover, so I need to rely on the environment, and the attacks I make are awkward. I'm forced to reconsider. It's crazy lucky I looted that echo rifle earlier, or I'll have to abandon. One hostile down, and luckily the other two were at the other side of the house. But now problems start. A pincer attack and I'm blindsided. Melee NPCs do serious damage, so I book it for the house. This is going pear-shaped fast, and I try to use my mollies to slow them down, but it doesn't work. I can now position myself to take out one without the other bothering me, but
I should reload.
Excuse me, what?
I should reload.
I didn't reload? I didn't reload. You've got to be kidding me. Major panic time, and I consider aborting this op. If this were lethal, that probably would have been the end of me. After a tactical retreat and using the fence to my advantage, I get another shot, but Gunslinger's auto-aim doesn't mean much when you have next to no stamina left from running about all day. I can't go down again, but with a bit of dodging, I take out the second hostile. Luckily, the third got caught up with the Zeds while I recovered from the dying state, so she didn't interrupt me. Watching humans and zombies fight always seems so janky, so I just finish her and book it back to the outpost. I switch to Derrick, and seriously, what is wrong with this game? After even more scavenging, I need to switch again to our leader to get the leadership quests rolling. But then we get bad news. Under the weather is especially serious given we're running about so much in the absence of vehicles. I don't like that stamina penalty. I also never knew just how bad the weapon sway was with this curveball. I decide to kill two birds with one stone and help this survivor get home. En route, I solve the sheriff dispute. Both enclaves are friendly, giving no boons, so I just choose whatever and go on my merry way.
Wait, you're taking their side? They're the one making the trouble.
I'm hoping my travel companion can join our team so we can get a fourth member and move to Bridgefort. But first, we need to solve her quest. It's still quite a journey to get my companion back to her base, so we save my outpost on the way and then make it over. I heard gunfire, so I assumed her friends were okay, but I'm not entirely clear what happened next, but I do have a theory. The first curveball on this cursed map was Out for Blood, but the plague heart causing it is on the opposite corner of the map, so I just ignored it. I know this curveball awakens the heart, but I just put it to the back of my mind, and here I'm seeing the fruits of its infestation hordes. Now I'm in a tricky fight that doesn't seem to stop, and I'm not messing about with a juggernaut. But wait, maybe if I can get that 50 caliber that dropped, I might be able to save. No. I do wind up killing the jug, but the madness keeps piling on. Another sheriff quest. First, I'm recruiting a survivor from the supply drop enclave, ignoring the awful doctor and choosing someone blank, but not before buying their meds so I can clear under the weather. I go back for the fort, and now we can work from here and clear up our snotty noses. One of my other Cascade Hills lethal zone fails ended in this base. We lost our computer guy Johnny very early in the run, so it became a duo trial. We cleared the eastern town and made it to this bridge fort, but it wasn't long before the two remaining starters, Rhonda and Kay, wound up as Bloodfell snacks. Even when the Fells missed their attack, they still dealt plague infection damage. I'm glad that got patched out. Also, I'd forgotten to say, that save file I had that became corrupted so I couldn't finish the map, also stopped in this very base. This land is cursed, but we must make this base work for us now. Nader heads to the Enclave and tracks down their friend accused of murder. To my surprise, the fights that followed were tough. Initially I hadn't seen a feral in days, but now trios are coming out of the mud. We find the gun, we take the gun back, deal with the real killer, pick up some building materials and give them to an Enclave in exchange for... You have got to be joking me. I don't have any cars! Roadside assistance is freaking useless now! I decide to take Nader back to base and load up with Derrick. It's time to take out the heart in the central town, but not before... This makes things bad, and it's fitting Derrick be the one to face it. But there's no going back now. I radio a new Enclave who I think live in this nice house, but instead they've settled in the shed out the back. Okay, you do you, the strangers. You're certainly strange. I keep heading to the heart, being careful of exploding Zeds as I go. The fight at the house was tense, and you can see how dangerous it really gets. Through sheer determination, it gets done, and now the central area is clear. As I pass through the town, I take a moment to look at the office base. This is where my last horror story of Cascade Hills ended. Another siege, and again, I didn't know it at the time, but the built-in watchtower did us in. When Zeds and freaks are inside, no one has line of sight to them, so they'll eat anyone they find. This even happened on my Nightmare run back in 2020. It's a nice base, but like the church, it'll kill you. Zen, Warburton and McMahon all perished that fateful day. Their deaths started the Dread 9 curse, but that's a story for another day. I need to get my command center upgraded, so I build a power station instead of taking one as an outpost, and now I need building materials. A side quest sees me help Puppy who... Puppy? Oh, whatever. He joins the crew, we find out he's a prick, but we need the labour. The other guy we recruited earlier, Walt, is nice enough. But seeing as I can't control as anyone but the main three, I can't teach him a fifth skill, so... he's labour as well. Oh, and we built a shooting range for the extra stamina because of course we did. But now, back to the mission. I decide to send Carol, who's a stealthy survivor, out for some wet work. These poachers have disabled my outpost for a few days now, so I want them dead. although there was more of them and it could have been very nasty, Carol took plenty of ammo and got the job done. But she's not finished yet. I cross the danger zone, avoiding exploding Zeds as I go and survey the area. I'm not close enough to end fueling the plague, but I do at least sort out this other mission that keeps popping up. And we have another enclave to help us. Carol took quite a beating at this infection site, so we take her home and switch out to Derrick. Although my footage recorder decided not to record it, we destroyed her heart and cleared fueling the plague. That makes me a lot less nervous. Now we switch to Nader because a bunch of missions have come up. It's very tedious, but we travel around the bottled roadway near the central town, scoffing crisps as I go. Nader has the highest stamina, and given crisps fully restore your stamina, it makes sense to only use them with the survivor that has the most stamina. And then I get some bad news. We need to head back now. I can still make the delivery to the Enclave. Not that it was worth my time. I'm having the worst boons this run. And we return to the base to defend it, but something else has come up. We have a curveball active that causes zombies to explode in gunk and drop scent lure. This could be bad given where we are, so I'll have to expend more ammo than I'd like. And even in this base, the watchtowers cause blind spots. Luckily, there's only 2 ways in or out, and we can hold it comfortably. We clear the siege and... Puppy? Pup? You're not Sonic. Why are you barrel rolling like a bell end? Is everyone here just useless or something? But whatever, I still need to settle the sheriff dispute, collect some fuel for my generator, give these guys some meds, and sell them a bunch of stuff. That was a busy night. Derrick is back on a mission looting the central town. I still need building materials for my command center, so we get stealing anything and everything and running back and forth until... Well, I was collecting materials anyway, so... I really hate this scenario. What can we say about Derrick? He's a traveller and idealist that loved school. The nerd. It suggests someone who's an easygoing free spirit that goes with the flow. Derrick and me are so not kindred spirits. All in all, it took about half an hour hoofing one rucksack at a time back and forth. I didn't want to put another outpost in the town, and I had to recall some older outposts earlier anyway, so I want to watch the influence. But I'm glad to say we're now in a very good position, despite the fact that we haven't destroyed many plague hearts. A defense mission gets radioed to me, and that goes... a bit... I again find myself using much more ammo than I prefer. And then we get some more news. Better finish this up quickly. There is an art to the backstab and avoid the gunk, but I've not mastered it yet. After some rough scrapes, the area is secure. I approach the NPC in a fetal position and demand all their Red Bull and then extort their ammo. The run back to base is eventful as more zombies spawn in, and the fight is very much on. Was Derrick stung by a bee or something? I'm getting tired of messing about now, so Nader takes center stage and locks and loads like never before. This includes a BML-40 grenade launcher one of them started with. That'll make things easier. The priority target is the Out for Blood Plague Heart. I'm sick of its infestation hordes, but I'll destroy any other hearts en route to it. We've got a lot of ground to cover, and I'm not taking any chances. After yet another lengthy run, I bombed the first heart, but it took more rounds than I thought. I go for the next heart, but it's in a much more awkward position, and I'm struggling to manage the gunky hordes. I'm glad I packed plenty of fire, but given Nader is a bulldozer, he can carry many more consumables. A lucky bloater helped me out, and we're one step closer to completion. Now I have the main heart in my sights, and we enter the southwestern town Limestone to take it out. Assessing the situation, I find I can cheese the heart from here with my remaining grenades. The good news is it works. The bad news is we've got our work cut out for us. I find a Willy Pete while surveying. These are the most powerful incendiaries, and I decide to use it on the very next play card, dealing 2 damage phases and freeing an inventory slot. A few whacks later, and it's gone. The next heart is further into town. I play it safe and take it out. Another outpost and a quick resupply, and I take out the final play card in Limestone. This quarter of the map is now secure. I spend the remainder of the night looting as much as I can before switching Nader out for a well-deserved rest. Carol is now on her mission. I'm happy to report the mysterious wandering trader is visiting, and I want their stuff. After spending at least 10 minutes and many snacks running to meet them... Oh, you're taking the piss. I forgot Vicious Rumours was active. I don't know what they told her, but it was probably true. I'm not trading like this, so 10 minutes back to the outpost. After that colossal failure, I spend the morning looting the newly secured town. But then I'm presented with a rare opportunity. 4 juggernauts, all with the gargantuan mutation. I've never seen that before. And the minefield takes care of business. Afterwards, I check the drops and... well, beggars and choosers and all. I really expected better, but I don't actually own this gun, so I'll get it to my Forever community where I'm trying to collect every weapon. Much more looting later, and guess who wakes up? Here we go again. But I feel guilty for neglecting other quests and the enclaves to the east, so I send Derrick back to sort everything out. A quick defending quest, a quick murder spree, and following the end of Vicious Rumours, a quick trip back to base, load up everything that doesn't weigh too much, and we can finally sell to the mysterious trader. I'll take another of those groovy grenade launchers, a gold Desert Eagle because I'm shallow, an advanced silencer, and plenty more of those fancy stamina restorers. Lock and load suckers, and another heart easily taken out. I tried to blitz the next heart, but I must have fired too quickly. Very annoying. Luckily, I have the golden gun and that didn't work. Fuck's sake. After a little dance with my scarlet buddies, Derrick just pushes it over. Now, with the central western town cleared, it's Derrick's turn to go on a massive looting spree, and we're still in good inventory. Keeping up the pace, Carol now switches in to take out the awakened playcards to the far north. It's a long run, and we clear the clinic for an enclave en route, and then with some creative manoeuvring we blow up the problematic heart before it infests too many locations. I don't really see the point of draining this whole town dry, so I just loot some materials and then sprint all the way to an enclave to get them to, well, only friendly actually. Oh yeah, I pissed off the nearby survivors during the sheriff mission. Darn. But I need to be on this side of the map anyway because there were no more hearts in the northwest. This must mean our last 2 are hiding in the far northeast. Nader gets ready with the last of our ordnance, and off we go. It's a long run, but we reach the dam and the unique building for this map, and those little frag grenades pack more punch than the rounds from the BLM-40. Very nice. I sprint to the next area, and the last heart is in my sights. I had hoped for a flawless victory, but it looks like I got some parting blood plate for my trouble. But those little windows come in handy once again, and Cascade Hills is liberated. I take the outpost up here and scavenge for anything rare, but no joy. I take some time to load up my guys for the next run, and Nader gets the call for the sheriff quest. I have a lot of running ahead of me now. The criminals are attacking, and they take out the strangers. That's a real shame. They died as they lived. In a fucking shed. We run and run and run to the next site, and after an intense moment of both over and under acting, we've got to head back. These timers are really generous even for survivors that only travel by foot. We save everyone and the endgame is nearly upon us. But I feel guilty not doing these last few missions, so I get to running some more. Some meds, a decent boon, but it's kinda too late for that now. But oh, the stew is done. How nice. High morale all around. Party at the bridge fort. I then run corner to corner again, taking some time to stare at the stars as I go to see there's another mysterious wandering trader. Can I get an e-gear from this one? No. But I do take another golden desert eagle because I want to pretend I'm Castor Troy for a few glorious seconds. We then get some really awful advice from Sasquatch. Always travel alone. Bloodfellows will munch your mate. I suppose you could temporarily recruit Enclave members as meat shields, but you're not a pussy, are you? I really can't be bothered looting this side of the map, so I sprint back and start the penultimate mission. But as I do... oh, for God's sake. Again. I decide the best thing to do is to go and see everyone. Achoo and achoo. It turns out it was the nearby survivors that betrayed me. I gave you guys materials and solved your murder dispute earlier for nothing. I buy their meds and then I murder them. Sorted. Back to base to ready everyone for the last hurrah, and then... I was waiting to get this curveball. I'm not allowed to use vehicles, so a curveball that affects vehicles is good. But I'm going to meet the final boss soon, so... one more tedious sprint to stop an attack, and... I didn't quite save everyone, and this guy is preventing me from looting these corpses. What a dick. Before I can even get back, it's time for the final showdown. I didn't even get much sleep, so I neck some espresso and down these Red Bulls, but they really don't do much for someone under the weather. Just a little further now. I'm glad I popped in for a chat. These will be very handy. In the next run, we make our final approach to the boss. Okay, that was some grade A bullshit. Can't the game be paused when we get that pop-up? I roll in and kill their leader, but... did his guards run away? And now they're surrendering? What shit teammates? Out of sheer confusion, I just buy all their energy drinks and off they go. I suppose I did kill everyone else almost flawlessly because Gunslinger is king, but... oh, it doesn't matter. We won. Yay. That whole run was tedious as hell. It wasn't difficult. I kept expecting to be jumped by triple fells in open spaces, but it didn't happen. I will admit I scavenged a lot less in this run just because I couldn't be asked to run about all day with my loot. Lethal Zone will surely be much more interesting. I'll also admit I felt a strange sense of reward for completing a run with no cars, but I'm still dreading the next no vehicles challenge. I want to thank you personally for being crazy enough to watch to the end, and I'm hoping you're crazy enough to leave a like, a sub, and a comment. The SOC 2 community has been very nice to me so far, so I'll keep churning these videos out. Every man needs a hobby after all. I really want constructive feedback, or not so constructive feedback if you like. I'm still experimenting over here. My next game is going to be a duo run, and I'm honestly amazed at what characters I've rolled for this one. They're some of my personal favourites, so I hope to see you there.